Hey, what's going on, everybody? I am Uncle Sam, and welcome back to Freedom Ain't Free. It's Friday night, and I was going to go live, but since this is a new channel, I guess I had to request to go live, so maybe next time. I know it's been a minute since I have uploaded a video. I got lost in the world of our world, so if you know, you know. If you don't know, well, okay. Well, yeah, I want to try to do lives next time, but I want to catch up on some stuff. I've got to plan some more detailed documental dives that I've done before in some other shows or in some previous videos. Tonight's going to be more sort of along the lines of the first video I did on this channel, where it's just kind of a topical, quick little rant. Anyways, let's get into it. All right.
Let's make 'em pay.
Brought to you by Uncle Sam Presents.
Okie dokie. All right, so the Strait of Hormus is still closed. Who would have thought that was going to happen? We are back in, I guess it's conflict again. No longer a ceasefire, if there ever really was. I mean, once upon a time, we had this thing called a ceasefire, but it wasn't really a ceasefire because they didn't actually cease firing at us or we at them. So can you really call it a ceasefire? But anyways, whatever. We're back in full-blown war mode. Well, I wouldn't say full-blown war mode. But we are dropping bombs and they're bombing stuff. So yeah, who would have thunk it, right? No more wars. Well, turns out that wasn't true. And they've tried to lie to us and tell us that he never said that. And since this is not live and I'm just doing a pre-record, I may cut in some things in here that are quoting Trump saying no more wars, because he did say that on the campaign
Mr.
show.
President, one of your consistent campaign promises was no new wars. What changed? Because you insisted no new wars.
First of all, I didn't guarantee no war.
Listen, all of us who lived through his campaign know that he made that kind of a centerpiece. He said this.
Under Trump, we will have no more wars.
And he also said this.
I'm not going to start a war. I'm going to stop wars.
Of course, he also said this.
I'll keep you out of wars.
So, no wars again?
We won't have wars again.
On the campaign show, they tried to aim it to say that he said no more forever wars, but it's like, how can you promise no forever wars anyways? Because once you start it, do you really know if it's going to go on forever? Because the United States has had a tendency, our government has had a tendency to have these quote unquote forever wars. For most of my lifetime, at least most of my adulthood, 9/11 happened whenever I was, I think I was probably like 14 years old. Anyways, I do believe that they said this stuff would be over in a matter of weeks back then. And guess what? It wasn't a matter of weeks. It wasn't a matter of months. It wasn't even a matter of a few years. It was closer to a couple decades. So there's that. And you know, a lot of people were talking that mad-ish to the ladies and gentlemen that were warning about this last year, literally a year ago.
Can you define panicins for us? What is a panicin, and why should we not follow that?
Well, in some cases, they're good people that really have the best, and they want to do things. But I call them panicins because maybe they're not smart, because they're playing right into the enemy's camp. And in other cases, they really are people that panic. They can't handle pressure, and both are sort of dangerous.
Whenever we had the 12-day war, it wasn't a war because, well, only Congress can declare war, and Congress didn't declare war, so it was a 12-day conflict, maybe, that we were, well, I mean, it was a war between them. We just stepped in and delivered a the bunker busters. I don't know. There's a lot of word games and semantics that go along with this mess that's been going on, which I guess honestly it's just in politics in general. So we have that. I'm trying to get my screen back up to kind of guide me. I do have an outline, so I want to try to stick to it. Yeah, like I said, we're back to war. People are dying. Innocent people are dying, and not so innocent people are dying. So that's just how it works. And so there you go. This was also supposed to be done. This conflict with Iran was supposed to be just a matter of weeks, and here we are, several months later. February 28th, wasn't it, like at the end of February? So we got March, April, May, June, into July. So that's 5 months, right? So there's 5 months. And so let's see, this is the last day of July. It's about to be August here in a few hours. Yeah, it's about to be August in a few hours, which will make it the 11 months that Tyler Robinson has been framed for the of Mr. Charlie Kirk. So even though the latest hearings didn't really, I don't think it really proved anything. I don't know how someone who is being objective can come to the conclusion with what evidence that has been brought forward that he actually deserves a trial going forward, accusing him of so I don't know, like, it doesn't make sense. The more details that come out, the less likely that he is the one who actually Charlie Kirk. I'm not saying that I think he was involved. I think he played a role. I think he had intentions of playing a role in whatever he thought. But it led to the demise of Mr. Kirk. And if they choose to add the charge of some sort of accessory or whatever, I could see that going down, because I think that he played a role. Also believe that his roommate, who we were told was a trans furry, who doesn't appear to be a trans furry, they put a bunch of pictures, or they put one picture out, I guess I should say, a bunch of times of this kid in like a hoodie with ears. Well, my son has a hoodie that is Spider-Man, and the hood has a little spot. It comes down over the eyes like it's a Spider-Man mask. Like, it leaves his mouth open. But so now, do I call my son a Spider Kid? Is that what he is now? He's Spider Kid? Is that what's going on there? Whatever it takes to try to rile people up. This is what they do. They want left versus right. They want black versus white. They want trans against sane people. I don't care if that offended anybody. I don't. That's a mental illness of a sort. It just is. There's something wrong there. Now, don't get me wrong. And if an adult chooses to go down that route, then so be it. That's your choice to do that to yourself. I don't know why I should have to play into your mental illness. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. We had a bunch of people that came out and told flat out lies about what they saw in the courtroom.
I'm just going to say what it was. You see him, Charlie. You see him shooting Charlie. You see him take the shot. It was like watching Charlie die all over again. Seeing this video, it's the most damning thing I've seen all week for Tyler Robinson. With the zoom in, it just changes everything. It's like watching a completely different video. Because when it's zoomed out, you can't even see anything. This one, he walks up. It's just like the officer said earlier in the, and he's in the prone position, and it's, they have this clock, like the timestamp that's up, and it's 12:20, I think it's 12:21, 12:22 when he first gets there, and I'm just sitting there like, stop the clock, like don't, like trying to will time to stop, like don't get to 12:23, like just don't get to 12:23.
Trying so hard to cry, it's not going to work. It's tough. For officers to try to switch it.
He was in a prone position. He took ran and jumped off the roof, just like the testimony showed. The thing that I just have to say is that I know that you guys watching on live stream couldn't see the last video that was shown. Well, it wasn't edited. It was zoomed in. It was zoomed in from the surveillance video off campus, and specifically the part of the Losi Center, the roof, and you see everything.
We were there and witnessed everything, and you have to hear this because it was devastating what we watched. And the judge ruled that you can't see the high definition quality video 4K of Tyler Robinson of Charlie Kirk. But they played it on giant screens inside the courthouse. You can see clearly Tyler Robinson's face.
The most damning evidence against Tyler Robinson was just shown in court. Only the court saw it. But it was high quality surveillance video footage of Tyler Robinson taking the shit.
That's why he didn't want to play what David had to say. That's why he didn't want to play what David had to say, because it didn't go with the narrative that he's trying to spin now. Someone said, who's this guy? Oh, this guy's a test tube baby.
And then we had people that came out and gave truth and straightened out that record to the point where people who have a sane and unbiased mind can realize that, can recognize that, and can see that.
Filing out of court with this crazy new story about this video that they all saw at the end of the very last day after the cameras were off, so none of us got to see it. They apparently got to see this crazy high definition video that was zoomed in that showed Tyler Robinson taking. Except the problem was that Brandy and Billy of Brandy and Billy's show, they were there. In fact, they literally slept on the concrete in order to get slots in line because there was only 14 of them. And they saw the video and they immediately called bullshit. There's their court wristbands. Brandy posted saying, I was in the courtroom today. There is no high quality zoomed in footage showing anyone taking a shot. The video shown is the same distance as the footage of Tyler jumping off the roof shown in this screenshot. Tyler. I have no idea why people are claiming otherwise. They know the video isn't going to be released publicly, so they're misrepresenting what was actually shown in court. And that started a firestorm. They tried to discredit Brandy.
Robinson's face. It could be anyone. It literally could be anyone. It does not zoom in well enough at all for you to be able to tell who it is. People are saying, oh, there was sound. You could hear the gunshot. That is an absolute lie. No sound at all.
Score one for Real Journalists. Shout out to Brandy. Shout out to Billy. Give them a follow if you don't already. So it turns out that it's actually just the same video footage that we already got from the same surveillance cameras that we already saw. Same resolution, everything. They just used a video editing program to zoom in on it.
See that? So we have those things going on. So that's a fun time. September 10th will come around pretty quickly, and it'll be a year. And I believe they're going to a hearing, another hearing of the sort or whatever in September of this year. So look, my honest opinion is I think sooner or later we're going to have, well, if anyone remembers Jack Ruby or what was his name? Sirhan, right? With RFK? Right, okay. So some things happened there where, a person was charged with something, and then an outside force intervened, and then that's like, okay. And I would imagine that once they kind of get this ball rolling a little bit, an outside force is going to intervene, and Tyler Robinson will no longer exist on this planet, and that'll just be the end of it. They'll say, okay, there we go, it's done, it's over with. Kid got and we'll never come to a conclusion on that. It'll just get swept under the rug, just like JFK, RFK, MLK, CK. If your last name starts with a K, be careful. Especially if you get into politics, be careful. Okay. So that is an option there. Lindsey Graham is officially in hell. I'm sorry. He has passed away. He's dead. He's been buried. Has it been buried? I know they had a funeral or a memorial or whatever they call it for him. Geez Louise. Granny always said if you don't have anything good to say about anybody, then you shouldn't say anything at all. But I'm sorry, Granny, I'm going to step out onto a limb and say that I don't have anything good to say about him. He was a warmongering piece of doo-doo, right? It's funny. I don't know if it's fake or not. I need to find the video of Trump at Lindsey Graham's funeral saying that he never saw a war that he didn't like. It's like, holy crap, bro. You really said that?
He was extremely hawkish. I will tell you, he never saw a war that he didn't like. Only his true friends would understand that.
I don't know if that's AI or if he really said it. Trump has been known to say things that he shouldn't say, believe it or not, grab him by the arrow. And Oh, whenever he was talking about Miriam Adelson and saying how she loved Israel more than the United
Very
States.
aggressive man, but I loved him. But I actually asked her, I'm going to get her in trouble with this, but I actually asked her once, I said, so Miriam, I know you love Israel. What do you love more, the United States or Israel? She refused to answer. That means, that might mean Israel, I must say.
United States. Things like that. It's like, bro, just, it's like, those are things that we all say or that people think, and it's like, you are not supposed to say those things. Like, we say those things and they're an insult, but he says it like it should be a compliment. Like, these people should be proud of these things. And to say that Lindsey Graham never saw a war he didn't like, it's like, well, it is true, but that's a pejorative, bro. Like, that's not a good thing to say. Like, in which that also is like, is I know Trump isn't dumb per se, but he's not all that bright. I know you're like, well, Sam, he's the president of the United States, and who are you? I'm a dude, but at least I'm not going out and saying those things like they're a good thing. I would honestly bet money that I probably have actually read more books than Donald Trump. Like, I really do think I have read more books. I've got a couple books right back there and one over here, and two. Well, one of them is a concordance, the other one's a Bible, and that one's actually going further. That's actually a manga. But this one down here, I mean, that's a chunk. Provoked. I know I talked about it in my last video. Scott Horton he's a goat, bro. If you want to know, I forgot to mention Scott Horton's what is it? Scott Horton Academy on foreign policy. Can't remember how it's. Anyways, I'll put a little ad for it right here, and so you can see it.
For generations, the United States has had a one-party system, the War Party. Democrats and Republicans pretend to fight, but when push comes to shove, they both fund the war machine, and they both make the same false claims to justify it all. Meanwhile, real people around the world have paid the ultimate price, including millions of deaths, tens of millions driven from their homes, and starvation and deprivation on a nearly unbelievable scale. And yet in mainstream American political life, you heard barely a peep of protest about any of this. Nobody on Sunday morning talk shows seriously dissented from the War Party. We had fake debates, and that was it. But now that has finally started to change. The War Party is doing damage control, as polls show younger people not buying their propaganda, and alternative news sources are broadcasting the truth, finally, to the American public. Well, I say it's time to go on a serious offensive. You don't kick the warmongers when they're down. When are you going to kick them? I'm Scott Horton. You may have seen me discussing the Middle East on the Candace Owens podcast, or debating Wesley Clark over the Russia-Ukraine war on Piers Morgan, or stomping the crap out of that tired old neocon Bill Kristol in a public debate at the Soho Forum. For over 25 years, I've been telling the truth about the war machine and slashing through the propaganda. Right now, the warmongers are trying to shut people up. And no wonder, because the internet is proving their lies and cliches to be as thin as tissue paper and as bankrupt as the U.S. Treasury. Now look, I love it when y'all cheer me on, but I'll tell you what I'd love even more. If you guys learn this stuff alongside me, so the anti-war cause becomes just definite. I understand that nobody wants to start something they can't finish. So maybe sometimes you're sitting there hearing war propaganda from your acquaintances at work or whatever, and you know it's wrong, but you feel like you don't have the overwhelming firepower to get in and win the point for peace. Well, we're doing something about that. Today, I'm announcing the Scott Horton Academy of Foreign Policy and Freedom. Instead of just listening to my show or catching me on a podcast here and there, you'll get taken step by step through everything you need to know to defend the cause of peace and civilization. I know, I talk fast. Tom Woods calls this Scott Horton slowed down. It's yours truly as you've never seen or heard me before, blasting that fire hose of knowledge straight into your brain at a pace and with the level of detail you need to learn it, absorb it, and use it in your own conversations and debates. And maybe you're the kind of person who just hates lies. Well, this is for you too. The War Party has the money. All you and I have is the truth. So let's make the most of it. I'll see you inside.
soldiers, in the name of democracy, let us all unite!
I've been meaning to sign up because I'm really interested in this stuff, and dude, at some point or another, we have to learn something. And it's like, that's kind of the whole point of me opening this channel, is it's like, come on, man, we got to learn something. We have to say something. We have to speak up. We have to speak out. We need to share our thoughts. And even though I know eventually, you know, we're going to wind up on some anti-government list, and it's like, yeah, I mean, it's the truth. Like, I'm grateful to be born in the United States of America. I'm grateful to be an American, but my government is, dude, they're trash bags, dude. They're war hungry, greedy. At some point, man, we got to wake up. We have to start looking into some of these people that are our representatives. So, okay, that's the first thing I want to encourage you to do, is take 5, maybe 10 minutes. It shouldn't take more than 5 minutes to figure out, number one, the senators that represent your state. Number two, the congressperson who represents your district. And then in your state legislator, you need to figure out who represents you in those places as well. Know those things. You need to know those things. So whenever they're discussing or proposing some really dumb crap, you can call them and you can harass them. Well, maybe not harass them, but you can call them over and over and over and over and over again and tell them, hey, vote against this, vote against this, vote against this, vote against this, vote against this. And, you know, maybe they don't listen to you. Maybe they do. You know, what do they say? The squeaky wheel gets the grease, right? Closed mouth don't get fed, those type of things. You know, at some point we got to speak up. We have to say something. We have to do something. And I'm not talking about, you know, revolution or anything of that nature, even though it's like, hey, I don't know, man, at some point, you know, maybe that is something that has to happen. I don't know. If we get pushed to that point, what are you willing to do? You know, how far are you willing to bend over? How far are you willing to stand up for what is right and stand up? You know, not only stand up for our freedoms, but stand up for whatever it is that you believe in. You know, for me personally, it's like I've shared over and over again, you know, I am a believer in Jesus Christ. You know, Paul says, when there's nothing left, stand. You know, we stand on truth, stand on principles, stand on morality. Even if I don't agree with your principles, stand up for them, you know? So Lindsey Graham's in hell, right? Okay. So, and I know it's not my place to judge whether or not someone is a believer in Jesus Christ. I don't know that he was. I don't know. I haven't looked into him. He wasn't my representative. He's from South Carolina. And now his sister has stepped into his seat. So maybe this is something I want to look into a little bit more, is how in the did she just step into his seat? Like, is that something that goes on? Like your kids and your sisters and your brothers, or I don't know, your parents can just step in and fill in your seat in the Senate or Congress? Like, seriously? Like, there's no special election or anything? Like, boom, they just fit her in. Like, oh, we're one gram short of being. So many Graham jokes there. I'm gonna back away from that. I hate being a gram short. Always. So Lindsey Graham is in hell, and Fauci is still free, of course. You know, of course. Like, I don't know what people expected. Did people actually think, like, I appreciate Rand Paul's attempts here, but he's already been pardoned, and as far as the pardon goes, Trump is going to uphold it. He already said that he is. It's like the highest thing that there is. You know, we got to respect the pardon.
The most powerful thing the president has, they say, is the power of pardon. So he was pardoned by Biden, and I respect that. I know how powerful it is. It's a very powerful, they say it's literally the most powerful thing a president has. Now,
I'll get into that here in a second, but seriously, y'all, like, Fauci is at this point basically untouchable. Like, we all know the damage that was caused by his leadership, but he didn't get there by himself. Like, you have to look at the people that propped him up. You have to look at the person that put him in charge of this. You have to look at something called
Operation Warp Speed.
But then again, if you're still claiming to be MAGA, or if you're still claiming to be a Trump or Republican or whatever, then maybe you don't want to talk about, or you don't want to look at Operation Warp Speed. And maybe that also has a little bit to do with why Trump is going to hold up the pardon that Sleepy Joe Biden, who was dead at the wheel, fell over on his bike, or Mr. Ice Cream Kid. Anyways, so many fun memories of that monster. But that's what Fauci was. He was a monster. He knew what he was doing. He was also making up a bunch of stuff along the way, and people bought into it. And the libtards, shame on you. Like, shame on you, like, for real, because you shamed me. You shamed people like me, and we turned out to be right. You know? I didn't take the Fauci ouchie. I was never jabbed, ever. You know, they tried. Every time I would walk into a doctor's office, they would try to push that poison onto me. And listen, I've put a lot of poison into my body. A lot. But it was all tested through decades of other people's experiences. You know, I didn't put very many brand new substances into my body. Not to say that I've never done it, but most of the substances that I have put in my body, they've been around for a minute, and their effects are known, positive and negative, mostly negative. But when you're in addiction, it's anyways. So yeah, you know, people were forced. I have family members that were forced to take it. It was pretty much keep your job and your retirement that you've been working towards for the last 30 years and take this jab, or get the blank out. Like, that was the option. And no, they don't work for the federal government. They work for a company that has contracts with the federal government. So therefore, it was pick one or the other. Either keep your job and take it, or lose your job by not taking it. So it's like, dang, you know, didn't really give them a lot of choices. So my belief is, as far as Trump wanting to keep the pardon for Fauci, number one, he was involved in putting Fauci at the wheel, at the head of this, right? Because he looked good on TV. He sounded good on TV. That was his reason, not mine. I thought he sounded like but they didn't ask me. So number one, Trump was, you know, he's still, as far as I know, he still likes to promote that it was his idea, the Operation Warp Speed. Like, I remember he was getting booed for that shit on his campaign trail, and it's like, y'all don't bro. It's like, listen, bro, read the room. This is one of the things that separated people that are still in MAGA versus those that have walked away from that thing. It's really become more of a cult. I never have really said that before, ever. Like, not even in my private life or whatever. I might have said it once before, but it was along the thought process of, dang, this really seems like a cult at this point. Just because, like, you have all these things that are pointing against and that are right in your face, but you're just oblivious to it. Like, you're just obsessed with this guy. Like if he shits in his shoe and he sprays some whipped cream on it, and he's like, here, it's a banana split. I don't know. Is that a peanut? Oh, I didn't know there was peanuts in that. It's not chopped up. Anyways, sorry. That's just really how I feel about it. So not only do I think part of it is because, you know, he was involved in Operation Warp Speed, but also I think he's setting himself up so that, you know, he can pardon himself or some of his family members or his people that work under him for doing some terrible stuff A lot of insider trading, a lot of betting on oil markets. It's really despicable how rich he and his family have become, how much more rich his family members have become during these last 2 years. Like, it's gross. Like, it's really disgusting. Like, it's pretty screwed up, man. Like, we have a really bad problem of insider trading in Congress. Well, you know, I think he wants to do this to try to signal to I think it's Democrats that'll come up in 28. Not because I want it, because I think it's a crappy idea. I hate it. But it looks like a lot of Republicans that are no longer want to have anything to do with this Republican Party. If they don't vote, then you're losing about 20% of Republicans. They're not going to vote. And so now you're down. Republicans are down 20%. Well, of course, you know, so now Democrats will probably take it, not because I want it, not because I'm going to vote for them, not because I would never even encourage it, unless they are someone that comes out that is, you know, maybe left of center a little bit, but takes no money from like AIPAC or any of these foreign lobbies. And I'm not just, I don't just have a problem with our so-called greatest ally. I'm talking about any of them. Like, come on, man. Maybe if there was someone like that, but this is what I talk about whenever, I mean, look at who these people are. You know, your congressperson, your senator, your state legislature, however you pronounce that. Look at the people that are running and see who they're taking money from. See what their promises are. You know, promises are worth the, anyways, they're not worth anything, to be truthful. So I think he's going to do a whole bunch of pardons also, like Biden did. He gave out a crap load of pardons there at the end, you know, a bunch of blanket pardons that reached back 14, 15 years or some mess, right? I have a feeling something similar is going to go on. So I do believe this is something to do with Trump, like signaling to Democrats, hey, and they're not going to care. They're not going to care. They're going to roast his nuts, just like they did before. Like, they don't care. They're not going to want to play ball. They don't. They play their own ball. I mean, they all kind of work together, Republicans, Democrats, but they're going to do just whatever it is that they want to do, and I don't care how much you signal to them. When it comes time to cut, they're going to be there with the scissors, bro. Listen, the truth is we got to make somebody pay. Somebody's got to pay. And we, the American people, have been paying for decades. How about you quit sending U.S. tax dollars anywhere else? Nowhere else should they be sent. Nowhere. Keep them here. Our politicians are irresponsible with our tax dollars. They're ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. You know, spending trillions of dollars a year. Oh, don't forget to like the channel. Feel free to leave comments. I'm sorry if I'm late on responding back. I finally responded to a couple comments today. And that's just because I don't have my notifications turned on. It's no excuse. It's just what's up. And I'll do my best to be more prompt. Like the channel. Subscribe if you found it the least bit informative or entertaining. If you liked it at all, like, please just a couple little clicks. Feel free to leave comments, share the video if you want, you know, that's cool. Most importantly, get informed, stay informed, and freedom ain't free, y'all. So let's make them pay. Hey guys, don't forget to set your notifications. This video was originally uploaded from Freedom Ain't Free 1776, an Uncle Sam Presents video. Copyright 2026, Uncle Sam Presents.